Hello, good people, and welcome here to the Action Figuratorium right there behind me. My name is Mark Major. I am a real big toy collector hunkered down here in Southeast Portland, and just like you, I like to speculate and give opinion on internet rumors involving the toy industry, especially if it's somebody big dogs like Hasbro, Funko, those kinds of people, and especially if it could be bad news. That's always fun too. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the speculations of the Hasbro Star Wars split that people say is coming up in a few years. They're going to have to renew contracts. That kind of thing may not happen. Who knows? We're going to talk about it today. It won't be a long video. It's going to be a fun video though, because we get to talk about essentially all things Hasbro. So, you know, strap yourself in, that kind of thing. Okay, first of all, this is old rumor. Old by at least 7 months. Here, let's go desktop cam. So this is a Reddit post, Star Wars collecting. I've seen rumors that Hasbro is looking to sell off Star Wars. So first of all, they do not own it. Someone else owns it. They're just a company that license the ability to essentially make their own money is what it seems like. No, the ability to make Star Wars action figures. They probably do not have the ability within their license to also sell it to someone else, to sub-license it. That's not the kind of thing. I don't know anything about what's in these contracts. I don't think anybody does. But we have seen some things where, you know, they announce the renewing of relations with Disney and Hasbro in the news all the time. Saw it in 2022, that kind of thing. And so the only reason why these two would dispartner at this point would be because of money. Essentially, if Disney's not making enough money off of the deal and Hasbro's not making enough money off the deal, then I could see a split. But let's ask the question, how much money does Hasbro make off of the Star Wars? And according to this AI overview, which is probably fictitiously made up, search by search, we're going to use it anyways. $3 billion a year in revenue from Star Wars licensed toys. Does that say profit? Does that say gross? It's whatever they want it to be. Okay. How about this? Here's an article from Toy News International. Hasbro expands relationship with Disney's Lucasfilm. This is from 2022, January. Extending Star Wars license and adding new deal for Indiana Jones. Okay, so the two are still going together as far as a couple years back. Remember, in the toy industry, waves of toys take about 2 years. So if they run contracts and plan for this, they got to go through the full cycle, and that might be coming up soon. But here's an article from MovieWeb. Disney made $12 billion off Star Wars. That's not how much they made off the toys, though. It says with at least $1 billion. And when they use the words with at least, does that mean that it's over $1 billion? I mean, it's at least $1 billion, but at least $1 billion may only be 900,000. But anyways, without giving us a real number, that comes from merch sales. But does that mean that that entire $1 billion comes from Hasbro? Well, here is a list from the Star Wars fandom wiki of different brands who have a Star Wars license, who are allowed to make these toys. You see Bandai on the list. They make those samurai stormtroopers and Darth Vaders and things like that. Lego is huge with Star Wars. I bet you they generate a lot of money, right? Mattel even is, you know, got their beak wet on the Star Wars brand, probably making stuff for little kids. I think that Takara Star Wars stuff is, I think they do a stormtrooper, like a 10-inch stormtrooper, and I think they do like a chrome X-Wing. Of course, the Jazzwares, those terrible 12-inch ones. So not all of that merch is essentially Hasbro, but probably quite a bit. But I don't think either one of these companies is losing money on Star Wars. I don't think they're in the negative from Star Wars. Now, they may see that that the numbers are dipping, and they might look ahead and say, okay, we think this is going to crash, it's going to bottom out, we're going to get out now. But something tells me that's not quite right, because you would ride this thing to the very end and siphon off as much money as possible. Now, maybe that's what's happening right now, I don't know, but that's what would happen if you saw the sales declining. You would try and squeeze the last out of it. I, however, think that it may be something slightly different coming down the road. Check this out. All right, so here's a video I did 1 month ago. Prediction, toy industry crash. Have you seen this video here? Prediction, toy industry crash, right? In which I say place bets on Hasbro, Funko, or Super 7, one of the three to go out of business. Funko, probably the leader, but possibly Hasbro. Why? Because Hasbro lost over $1 billion last year, and the year before that they lost $122 million, which seems like free money compared to the $1.06 billion that they lost the year after that, right? So, what could happen, because the main revenue generator at Hasbro is Wizards of the Coast, is they could stop making toys altogether. And they just license out the properties they own to other companies, right? They would then change their name to Wizards of the Coast, or WotC, as I like to think of them. And this WotC would continue to make games, because check this out, right? Couple things. First of all, this is from Wall Street Journal, February. They get a new CFO in Goddard's first year on the job. Hasbro slashed its inventory. The company ended 2023 with $332 million on its balance sheet, half the $676 of the previous year, right? In addition, Hasbro shifted some of its less profitable brands, including Easy Bake Oven and Fur Real Friends, to a licensed model, meaning they are no longer making the toys themselves, they're licensing it out. And here is this from GamesIndustry.biz. Hasbro CEO, we're going all in on becoming a digital play company, right? Starting as early as late 2025, potentially early 2026. So it is possible that Hasbro is going to stop making physical product, and it's just going to be a company that will license out these brands to other companies. For example, have you noticed that there are 1 million companies who make G.I. Joe now, right? You can find like some cheap Cheeseball Super 7 ones, you can get some Ultimate Super 7 ones, you can get some cool Mezco guys, you can get some Haya toys 3.75, plus you can get a whole bunch of the actual different Hasbro stuff from Hasbro currently, right? So the next thing I would pivot to is what happens to the Star Wars Marvel license, or any of these licenses, once Hasbro no longer makes toys? And the answer is probably that those companies will give the ability for Hasbro to book, right, to license out to other toy companies, since they're doing it right now, these licenses on their behalf, and they would get some type of a middleman fee as they pass the money between the companies and, say, Lucasfilm, right? So they would essentially be managing who gets to make toys, because they've held the toy line for so long. And if they want to continue the Marvel Legends look and molds and all that kind of thing, well, they just tell Haya Toys or whoever, Mattel, look, you're making G.I. Joe or whatever, you know, good luck. And, you know, you're making Star Wars, and pass the money back to Lucasfilm, all that kind of stuff. Very sort of easy thing to see that these cats are going to dump toys, they're going to become only licensees of toy properties, and they're going to make a lot of digital games. So with that, everybody, stay charged.